Hello guys, welcome to the another video. First of all, again, thank you to you all, and one request, please, if you need any help, any kind of information, text me on WhatsApp or send me your question in audio. So in this video, as you can see on the title, I'm going to put one mock test about the speaking and listening test for the PCO driver. Who will do this test? Again, listen carefully. 30 September 2021. If you renew your license before 30 September 2021 or you applied and you did not submit your any English certificate, then you will do this speaking and listening, and you must do self assessment as well. If you applied, means if you submit your certificate before 30 September 2021 and you don't know what is going to be happen, is accepted or not, TfL will let you know. If it's accepted, you will not do this speaking and listening test, but you will do self assessment, which is you have to read the book and you have to answer the question. Hope so you understand, because a lot of people have a confusion about this one. So if you applied your license after 30 September 2021, you must will do this speaking and listening, and you will do self assessment. In this video, we hired a tutor now, English teacher. So because you need help, guys. So in this video, he did the mock test, one of my students, and I'm gonna explain how this is going to be look like in the real exam. So we provide this training as well. You can get the same test from this teacher. We have a 10 speaking and listening mock test, and we have about 400 questions of self assessment. So we have a package. To get the more info, just text me on the WhatsApp. You can see my number on the screen. Then we will get back to you as soon as possible. Now check this video till to the end. You will find out how the language, so speaking and listening test will look like. Thank you.
So, hi, this is the Language Cert ESOL International Speaking and Listening Achiever Level exam, and today's date is the 29th of October 2022. My name is Malik, and I'm going to be your interlocutor for today. And what's your name?
Razi.
Razi, nice to meet you. So the exam's going to begin now. For part one, I'm going to ask you some questions about yourself and some ideas you might have about the questions I'm going to ask you. So I shall begin now. Is there any historical place in your hometown?
Sorry?
Is there any historical place in your hometown?
In hometown, no, really. No.
Where do you live? Whereabouts do you live?
Oh, in here, okay, I live in London, Stratford, yeah.
Yeah. And is there any kind of places that you go to often in Stratford?
Yeah, there's a shopping centre, Westfield, I normally go there.
Yeah, Westfield. Can you explain your daily routine?
Daily routine is when I wake up, then if I go some shopping, then I do that. Anything like any payments, or I have to make some phone calls. Then after lunch, I make myself to go to prepare myself for the work. So I left home about 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Okay. What foods do you like to eat?
Mostly rice and curries.
What kind of curries do you like eating?
Medium spicy beef.
Nice. Okay.
It's my favorite.
Sure. And what is it that you work as?
It's a restaurant. It's a takeaway, not restaurant. It's a Pan-Asian takeaway.
Okay. And what kind of foods do you serve there?
It's Pan-Asian. It's like Thai, Japanese,
Okay.
Malaysian food, yeah.
Sure, nice. And finally, when you were a child, what's kind of one memory that you have of your parents that really sticks with you?
What parent have, sorry?
When you were a child, is there any kind of memories that you have in your childhood that you can kind of remember and relate to us?
Yes, I have a lot of memories. My dad used to take us to the restaurant when we were so upset for anything. I always remember that. But he's not anymore. I always remember that. Yeah.
That's nice. So we're going to move on to part 2, and we're going to role play some situations. I'm going to tell you either to start or to respond. So the first situation is that your friend wants to get married, but you think he's too young, and you have to tell him what you think he should do. So I'm going to start. So hi Razi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm really glad you can meet me today because I have some news.
Sure.
And after hearing this news, you'll say I'm crazy. But I know I'm 20 years old, but I'm thinking about getting married.
Oh, you asked me the question.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you, this is a role play scenario, so we'll start again. But in this role play scenario, I'm going to pretend to be someone else, and we're going to pretend to have a conversation. So I'm going to pretend to be your friend who wants to get married very early, and you have to respond how you would in this situation. Okay, so I'm going to start over again. So I'll start role playing from now. So hi Razi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
I'm really glad you can meet me today because I have some news. Basically, I'm 21 years old, and I'm thinking about getting married next week.
Well, that's very young, and if it's next week, it's too early for if you're getting married next week. And
Yeah,
you're too young for that. 21.
Yeah, thing is, I think I know what I want to do with my life, and I really like this person. So I think next week or maybe next month, I'm going to ask her to marry. What do you think?
Yeah, as soon as if you think you can look after her, or if you can carry your life like any jobs or anything, then it's better for you to go ahead. Otherwise, you have to think before you do this kind of decision. So it's totally up to you.
So do you think I shouldn't get married then?
You shouldn't get married if you're not ready properly.
Thank you. That's the end of the role play.
Thank you.
Now it's going to be the second scenario. So this is in regards to work. So I'm your supervisor, and I'm going to discuss your performance plan with you. And there's some issues with your performance, for example. And I'm going to role play this. I want to see how you react and how you talk, that kind of stuff. So the role play begins now. Razi, as you know, it's this time of the year where we do performance reviews. Let me get right to the point. Your attendance is just not acceptable. You've been late over a dozen times, and you've maxed out all of your time off.
Okay, now I had some personal problem since last few weeks, and I tried my best, and now his problem is solved. So I'll make sure I'll attend my classes on time.
Okay. If I allow you to be late, it's not fair to the others. And also, you know, so we have performance objectives that we have to meet. So if you're late, this affects us all.
Yeah, I'll make sure from next time I'll be on time.
Okay, on my team, there's no special treatment. Everyone has to meet the same standards. You know, I run a very disciplined, tight ship.
Okay, so I'll make sure I'll keep my word.
Okay, thank you for that. I'm going to put you in a performance improvement plan. You can go now. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the end of the scenario. Thank you for that. Now, moving on to part 3. So in this part of the test, we're going to discuss something together. So if you imagine that we're two friends and we're planning for a summer vacation, and you know, some things that we're going to talk about, or you can talk about, is like a painting center, camp out, plantation, workshops, this kind of stuff. But again, we're just gonna have a conversation about this. So hi Razi, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Are you excited about the summer vacation?
I am, yes.
You know, in the last few years, we've had the coronavirus, the COVID-19 pandemic. We've not really been able to go on holiday that much. But what are you planning to do for holiday this year?
Planning to for holiday. Planning to go back home this holiday.
Okay, where's home?
In Bangladesh.
Okay, nice. And what do you want to do there?
Sorry?
And what are you going to do in Bangladesh?
I got my families there, like my mom, my granddad. They live there, so I'm gonna go there see them, live with them for a few weeks, spend my holiday with them.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I'm thinking of joining a painting class and also working in an NGO for the poor. What's your plan in regards to this? Are you going to do any activities when you're on holiday?
I'll try to do some activities as a painting, and I'll save up some time to do that.
Okay. Any other kind of activities that you find enjoyable on holiday?
Yeah, it will be an enjoyable holiday.
Yeah, what kind of activities do you do on holiday?
Football.
You play football? Okay, that's nice.
It's good exercise.
So I highly appreciate your plan. Thank you. That's the end of the scenario there. Finally, for the last part, for part 4, I'm gonna read you something. I'm gonna read through the entire paragraph twice, and I'd like you to listen and maybe take some notes if you want as well. And then I'm gonna ask you some questions about the paragraph. And try and give like 1 or 2 sentence answers if possible. So I'm gonna start now and read the paragraph twice. Sometimes I have thought it would be an excellent rule to live each day as if we should die tomorrow. Such an attitude would emphasize sharply the values of life. We should live each day with a gentleness and a keenness of appreciation, which are often lost when time stretches before us in the constant panorama of more days and months and years to come. There are those, of course, who would adopt the Epicurean motto to eat, drink, and be merry, but most people will be chastened by the certainty of impending death. I'm going to read that one more time. So sometimes I have thought it would be an excellent rule to live each day as if we should die tomorrow. Such an attitude would emphasize sharply the values of life. We should live each day with a gentleness and a keenness of appreciation, which are often lost when time stretches before us, in the constant panorama of more days and months and years to come. There are those, of course, who would adopt the motto to eat, drink, and be merry, but most people would be chastened by the certainty of impending death. So now I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What is the excellent rule that the writer mentions?
To live a life peacefully, not to not to worry about how you're living. So this is the main thing is mentioned on the paragraph.
Yeah, thank you. And what change does this rule bring in the man's life?
Yeah, but for that before you die, so we should do these things properly, and then we can go for live nicely.
Okay. And what is the Epicurean motto, or the motto that I mentioned in the paragraph?
Yeah, these are things I saw. To peacefully, if you take too much tension in the life, so it's going to affect the lifestyle. So if we live like as I said, to control our life and live as smoothly, not to take any pressure on the life, then you will live long.
Okay, thank you. I'll move on to part 4B now. So you're going to have to talk on your own for about 1.5 minutes. And your topic is advantages and disadvantages of the internet. And you have 30 seconds to think about what you're going to say, and then I ask you to start. So you have 30 seconds from now.
For the internet, we do use internet every day, and it's help us to move our life forward easily, and we can get all the information, all the news, whatever happening in the world. And disadvantage is people are mostly spending time on phones or internet. So this makes some kind of like laziness, brings laziness in the life. So we are not doing activities going lesser. So one way is good, another way is bad. So we have to keep eye on this. Do you want me to tell more or?
Yeah, a little bit more. Just a couple more sentences.
Okay, so we can improve this if we make a routine of that. So if we like whatever time we got extra, then important things you can use internet. So if you think we don't need that much to spend on the internet, then do some activities, do some exercise. Because myself, I'm trying to change my lifestyle because I'm spending too much time on internet now. So I'm trying to change myself.
Sure, that's very good. So can you give me some common forms of entertainment online?
Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. And give me
Yeah.
2 more.
What other things? Twitter.
Yeah.
YouTube mostly.
Give me 2. Yeah, that's 4. Thank you. And can you give me 5 ways, or give me some ways in which you can communicate online? You mentioned some already, like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Are there any other ways, even on like a mobile apps, you can use to communicate?
Yes, we do. WhatsApp. We used to use Viber, is not that much, but Skype we use that. And other things. I don't know. There's few in my phone.
Yeah, and that's fine. And how can students be protected from internet harm?
How, sorry?
How can students or young people be protected from internet harm?
Students and young, yes. That's so parents need to keep eye on them. Because I'm a parent, so I always keep eye on my kids, like what they're doing on the internet. So internet is important for study. Yeah, no, they need to do homework and this and that, but there should be a time limit. How many hours they're using the internet, and it's important. Even nowadays, they're playing games on internet as well. So it used to be they used to buy the games from the shop. Now they're buying online. So internet is, as I told you before, this one way is good, one is bad. So we have to keep eye on our children or young people to not to spend much time on internet.
Thank you. That concludes the test. Just a quick bit of feedback. I can give you more detail later on, but I think you did quite well. You were able to understand the questions and respond appropriately. So that was some good things. You were able to think quickly and not stutter too much, not use too many ums and ahs, which shows your fluency in the language, which is very good. Some things that we work on, just to maybe have your answers a little bit longer next time. So to show the examiner that you understand what you can develop complex sentences rather than simple 1 word or 3-4 word sentences. So maybe developing your ideas a little bit more. And then with the paragraph as well, I mentioned the Epicurean motto. It was eat, drink, and be merry. So is that they were looking for that specific sentence, that specific phrase within that paragraph for you to pick up on. So if there comes any kind of weird phrase or any kind of new phrase in a paragraph, just try and remember that piece of information, so that when the examiner asks you about it, you can kind of recall it. But you picked up the ideas within that paragraph very nicely, about the ideas about life and living life, keeping in mind death is nearby and so on and so forth. That was really good of you as well. I think overall that was quite a good test from yourself.